What the hell?
A random genre of games I got super attached to was the room escape genre, widely popularized by the online game Crimson Room.
Both online and real life ones. Am I trapped here?
So, when I was told that there was a visual novel escape room game on the DS,
I was super intrigued, but didn't buy until years and years later. Nope, seriously though, where the hell am I?
and I wasn't the only one. The game 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, or 999, was released in Japan in 2009 and the US in 2010, and it sold horribly. Despite great reviews from Japan's Famitsu and American press, it sold under 40,000 copies in Japan from 2009 to 2010. It did sell well enough in the US, however, to prompt 2 great sequels.
But I'm only going to talk about the first one, 999. This is oddly thematic.
The game starts with your character Junpei waking up in a boat, when suddenly the window breaks, water starts flooding in, and you realize the door out is locked.
What the hell? God damn it!
You said it, voice actor.
Notably, for some reason, you have a watch strapped onto you with a 5 on it. As you stare at yourself downtrodden in the mirror for a moment, you recollect how you got on the boat. You were at home, then randomly kidnapped by some guy in a gas mask?
That sounds oddly familiar.
Although, honestly, Junpei, this is kind of the worst possible time to reflect and start flashing back. There's water pouring into the room. Now is not the time. What it is time to do is learn about digital roots.
So listen up, because this is far more important than drowning.
Basically, to get a digital root, you add all of the numbers of a string up and find a sum. Then rinse and repeat until you only have 1 digit.
Now that you got that knowledge and flashback, time to escape! Yep, still locked. More 999?
Okay, so in order to get out of the room, you have to search around and find various clues to solve puzzles, including, in this case, utilizing the digital root of key cards. Busting out of the room leads you up from the D deck to the C deck, B deck, and eventually bumping into a bunch of other prisoners who have been locked up just like you, equally confused about what the hell is going on. They all have bracelets on, just like you, numbering from 1 to 9. The group decides it's best not to reveal anyone's true names for the purpose of safety from whoever their captor is, and are all nicknamed. These people are: Number 1, Ace, a calm-seeming guy and a natural leader, probably why he's number 1. Number 2, Snake, an even calmer, fancy lad who's blind, which you can tell by the fact that he always keeps his eyes closed. You know, just like blind people always do. Number 3, Santa. Yes, this is the nickname he gives himself. Why? Because San means 3 in Japanese, and literally because of Santa Claus. Moving on! Number 4, Clover. She's Snake's little sister, and for some reason she was captured with headphones still on. Also, her hair is absolutely insane. Here's a shot of her from behind. Overcompensation. Number 5, Junpei. That's you. I already said this earlier in the video. Were you even paying attention? Number 6, June. June is Junpei's friend from elementary school, and they basically both had a crush on each other before June transferred to another school. Number 7, Seven. Obviously, given his nickname, he's not very creative. He's a big burly dude supposedly with amnesia. Number 8, Lotus. She's basically not wearing any clothes because anime. And all the characters constantly refer to her as an old lady. What? This is supposed to be old?
Oh god, I must be ancient by anime standards.
Number 9. Number 9.
Number 9.
In front of you are 2 giant numbered doors, 5 and 4. And to get into those numbered doors, of which there are 9, the characters have to scan the bracelets strapped onto them and get the digital root of those scanned bracelets equivalent to the number on the door. The catch is, only 3 to 5 characters can enter a door at a time. And if anyone breaks one of those rules, well, that's exactly what number 9 does right off the bat by going into a room alone. You die. Finally, you have 9 hours to escape. Hence, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Following the rules, you can choose if you'd rather go into room 5 with an exploded guy, or chill with the girl you have a giant crush on in room 4. Yeah, I'm gonna go with option B, room with the girl I have a crush on. And through door 4, you end up in another escape room. And this is where things get a little weird. First, you start hearing tales from June about a mysterious Egyptian mummy brought onto the Titanic. Also, that the boat you're on is possibly the Titanic.
Yeah, that checks out.
Next, Lotus decides to ambush you with information about Rupert Sheldrake's theory of morphogenetic fields.
Which is an actual thing, so here we go.
Rupert Sheldrake is a real English author who was also a biochemist at Cambridge University for around 6 years. He wrote multiple books, mostly considered pseudoscience, with many discussing his idea of morphogenetic fields. Basically, everything in nature is pretty much telepathically connected, which allows for mass evolutions in various ways.
And who said video games don't teach us things? Was it you?
What? I'm just trapped in this room with you. Also, who do you keep talking to?
Anyway,
You eventually get out of the room, only to enter another escape room in a kitchen, and then get trapped in the freezer with Santa and June. Because no one thought to keep the door open. As you're trying to get out of this freezer, June decides to regale everybody with an extremely long story about something called Ice 9, which is a made-up substance from Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle, spooky stories about books written before the Titanic disaster which mimic the Titanic disaster, and blah blah blah. Why are you telling me this in a freezer? Also, this whole time, Lotus literally does nothing and gives up trying to help you get out.
I'm sorry, am I the only one who heard somebody get blown up by a bomb in the death game we're currently in? You know, the one where we only have 9 hours to escape? Is it just me?
So, spooky stories aside, you get out of the kitchen and meet up with everybody else in a hospital room where you make a couple important discoveries. For one, you aren't on the Titanic, but rather its sister ship, the Gigantic, which was turned into a hospital ship during World War I, and also renamed the Britannic. For 2, the hospital room contains the doors 3, 7, and 8. For 3, Snake has gone missing. And, in checking door 3... Holy hell!
There's a murderer amongst us.
With keys found in rooms 3, 7, and 8, you can now access doors 1, 2, and 6. I decided to go through 1 to stick with Clover, as she's now acting kinda weird, and to watch over her. This leads to the captain's quarters, where you find...
What is this? Why does this keep happening? Meryl McBonesby? When did you get in this escape room?
After escaping from this set of escape rooms, you make it out to discover that June's group has found door 9. Door 9, which I failed to mention, is the final door and the way for everybody to get out and win the nonary game, as it's called. So we finally made it, Clover? Why are you looking at me like that? Clover? Clover? Clover?
Thanks, Junpei.
Seriously?
As it turns out, there's multiple endings to 999 based on the doors you choose, and based on the dialogue choices you make during certain, very limited scenarios. It's kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure story, but with a twist only a game could do. So let's go back in time and try a different set of doors.
Wait! There was another door there the entire time!
Did you seriously just notice that?
Fortunately, once you play through a portion of the game, when replaying, you can fast forward through all of the dialogue. If you utilize a chart in the game, you can see the various paths as well as key paths to take once you've finished. Utilizing one of these paths, you learn Ace has prosopagnosia, a condition which means someone can't recognize the faces of familiar people. One way to imagine what it's like is if you look at a picture of people upside down, it's far harder to recognize their faces. Take this picture for example. You might notice their faces kinda blur together, but when we flip it over, you'll notice it was actually the cast of Friends the whole time. On this route, Clover discovers a note giving a clue to a special pattern on your watch that will showcase a set of numbers. Numbers that can be used to unlock a safe found behind door 5. And at this point, I'm going to start laying out some major spoilers for the game.
So if you don't want that, then leave.
Okay.
Wait, how did she...
Within the safe, you find a note revealing Zero's intentions. Revenge for a nonary gameplay 9 years prior that was exactly like the one you're stuck in. It turns out a bunch of kids were kidnapped on a boat by Cradle Pharmaceutical and forced to play the life or death nonary game you currently are. Not only that, but Clover has been murdered and Junpei figures out her killer, Ace. Ace's true name is Gentaro Hongo, and he's the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
But wait, there's more.
Due to his prosopagnosia, Ace accidentally murdered his former colleague, dressed up in Snake's clothes, and Snake is actually still alive. So now that you've solved this much, time to... Oh, white sleeping gas smoke suddenly knocks you out and you lose. So time to do the correct path, which as it turns out you can only finish after completing the ending where you find out the combination to the safe. As it turns out, there's actually 2 door 9s and a creepy coffin in the room with a keypad on it. If you've completed the previous ending, you'll somehow remember the earlier safe note from the alternate universe, allowing you to unlock the coffin and find within it Blizzard, nuzzling up with Konami.
Oh no. Who's next?
Oh yeah, turns out Snake was there too. He passed out due to some gas and was placed inside the coffin. He then woke up banging on the coffin, and this is the actual worst thing I've ever heard. He was basically buried alive. After going through a number of puzzles past door 9, you finally discover the major secrets of the game.
Again, I'm giving you another chance to click off of the video. Although, if you don't mind it being spoiled, the sequels to the game are also incredible. So, here we go.
Remember that experiment from 9 years ago? The experiments were to test the morphogenetic field, which in the game is real and not pseudoscience. It turns out that Santa and June were both kidnapped and a part of those experiments when they were children. In one reality, June essentially died during those experiments, just like how you went through multiple realities in the game. However, in a very specific reality, she was able to tap into the morphogenetic field of someone from the future, Junpei. Thus, June has recreated the entire experiment 9 years later as Zero and captured the unwilling participants, both to gain revenge on those who put her through that misery as a child, and in order to save her own life, forcing Junpei to tap into the morphogenetic field and save her 9 years in the past.
To me, 999 is the definition of a hidden gem. It sold far too poorly and deserves way more recognition.
The escape rooms of the game are honestly pretty easy and not overly interesting, especially with the game more than willing to give you an overabundance of hints without your prompting. But the story and revelations had me on the edge of my seat waiting to see what would happen, especially with the constant whodunit style mystery.
I honestly find it a bit of a shame to ruin some of the twists of this game, but if I can bring any more light and recognition to this game, I'm happy to do so. So, I'm off.
Wait! You can't do that!
What? Why?
You didn't solve any of the puzzles!
Yeah, well, you did, and door's open, so bye!
Wait, let's talk about this! Wait!
A huge thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon, Invidentia and Jason Buck in particular this month, and in general, thank you all so much, it really means so much to me. Also, once again, I'd like to thank 60 Out Escape Rooms for letting me film at one of their locations. I really do mean it when I say that they're my favorite escape room place. In particular, some of my favorites I've done have been Jumanji, The Orphanage, and Senator Payne. All of them, though, top-notch, highly recommend it. And of course, thank you to Matt Newman for helping shoot and direct the show, and Claudine Quadrat for being an excellent Orange Squash Olly. She's a terrific actress who's on the web series Kai Loki or in various commercials and shows. Thanks for watching. Later, guys. Peace.